So signs to look for. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. You are the subject matter expert, so I'm even going to go and flip that, okay? So anyway, trust your instincts. You guys know that some of the things. We're going to talk about now some of the tools for your toolkits, okay? Because we have great community partnerships with the school districts, with you guys, with everybody that you work for. We are able to create a community partnership, okay? With that community partnership, we also have resources on the installation that our families can turn to. That if they get in a jam financially, or trust me, we have counselors that call us and say, Miss Lori, I have a Navy family that can't pay their rent. What can we do? Because our job is taking care of the families, right? So we need to be able to get them those additional resources. So these are some of the resources that we have. For our active duty folks, we have Give Parents a Break, we have extended duty care, we have all of those things that are able for our families to take advantage of. Now, I will tell you, do we all take advantage of them? No. One thing maybe, we live too far away from the installation, so I don't feel like driving back every day. Another thing is, no, I'm too proud, I just don't want to deal with it. When I go home, I want to take my uniform off and I want to be there. And he's laughing, so I know it. There you go. See? Yep. So again, it's having the services available. Just like we always say, what's the old adage? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? We can provide the benefits, we can help, but it's, again, making sure you guys as caregivers understand that these are there, because you may have a way to say it and sell it that I can't sell it. Because I will tell you, just like we talked about earlier when we first started talking about not being able to, I believe you asked the question about, is it still the stigma? The stigma still exists. Is it as bad? No, but it's still there. So we have to educate, and that's the only way we can change things, right? Is by educating and advocating for it. So again, we have all of these great things that go on the installation. We have a huge social media presence, and we're constantly putting things out for it. We have MFLACs, and I have several in the room. We have military family life counselors, and I would like for my MFLACs to rise, please. So these ladies here are our go-to people. I've spent more time on a couch with this young lady right here than a little bit. And listening to her, or her listening to me. No, but these young ladies are a part of a program that's a part of the Department of Defense program that was sponsored for our military families. They are embedded on the installations. They are embedded in our school districts, in several of our school districts, and they're there to help our families. These ladies are true professionals. They're top of the line. You see up there, they're master's, PhD levels. They're clinicians, just like most of you are. They do confidential short-term counseling. Okay, and there's no records kept. So it's one of those programs that we're trying to breed to destigmify the ability to get that help that our military families need. Because, thank you guys. So these are the ladies that are go-to. And we have, I want to say probably, we have a good chunk here in San Antonio. There's at least 12 to 15 of them right here in the San Antonio area. Yeah, at least, and that's probably low. Yeah, absolutely. And we have them for child and youth, and we have them for our adults, okay? And Department of Defense has funded this, and now we're trying to push it into schools that are heavily populated by our military students so that they can assist and be right out there on those campuses for them. So we also have free homework helps too. Okay, we're gonna talk about some of our big community partners that I want you guys to know about, okay? The Military Child Education Coalition is a nonprofit agency that works and advocates for military students and military families. They do 0 through 18, and they do a lot of research, and they do a lot of nuts and bolts behind the scenes research and a lot of advocating, because they can go to DC because they are nonprofit. We're the boots on the ground, we're the military piece of it, but they are the nonprofit piece that can go up there and take care of business and help advocate. We do things here in San Antonio with them all the time. They come in and do training for us. Air Force pays for training. You guys as caregivers are free to come, and Air Force will pay for you because you service military students and military families. So always be on the lookout for those types of trainings. Military One Source is another one. If you service military families, you are eligible to sign up as a provider and receive trainings and free things like that through Military OneSource for you to help. And tutor.com, like I said, that's an online homework help that's available to our military families. So if you have a student that's struggling and you're talking to them and you know that that's a piece of it, this is a free online opportunity for them. It is open actually to civilians as well, but civilians have to pay, and I think it's like $40 a session. It's kind of really high, so it's expensive. But for our militaries, including our active duty members, it is free. Okay, so just wanted to let you guys know that. So now, how do we celebrate? We've talked about all the big things. April is always going to be month of the military child. So April is always an opportunity to celebrate your military students or military kids that you're working with and make them feel special and make them feel understood. There's always proclamations by the president signed all the way down to the state and city level. Purple Up this year is actually April 13th instead of the 15th. It's always normally around April 15th. That's why we put the tentative date up there as 15, but it's April the 13th this year. That's a Friday. What we encourage throughout San Antonio is, we're actually working with the governor right now, and he's declared it, TEA, Texas Education Agency, has declared April the 13th as Purple Up Day for all the school districts throughout Texas. We're working with Governor Abbott right now to declare it throughout the city, throughout the state. We are also working with the Chamber of Commerce to turn all the lights downtown purple on the 13th. Because we are Military City USA, so you know what? We need to sing it loud and proud. And we need to show these kids that, you know what? We understand what you're going through, but we got your back. We got your back. So we encourage you and your offices and your schools or whoever you're affiliated, your companies, to adopt the Purple Up Day. And what Purple Up means, Purple Up is when you combine all the colors from all the uniforms in the joint services, it turns purple. So it's open, all DOD, and we are going to wear purple that day and just say, you know what, we support you. We know what you go through, so wear purple on Purple Up Day on April the 13th. November is always the month of the military child, so there's always activities going on throughout San Antonio and throughout on the bases, off the bases, everything. So support your military families that way. Again, show them. Support the veterans in your organizations, okay? Now, I'm going to close out real quickly, but I just want to say this, okay? Again, and I reiterate this, not asking for favors, not at all. Not asking for you to take this and say, Miss Lori said. No, not at all. I'm asking you to be situationally aware of what goes on in the life of a military kid and a military family, because you have the keys sometimes to make them successful, okay? And we're partners in this. We talked about that. So I'm going to read you a poem, and then I'm going to close it out, okay? Now, the poem deals a little bit with education, but we're going to tie it in, okay, a little bit. And it may tie itself in automatically. So this is what we call the right to a desk, all right? And ultimately, we're talking about making our families better and stronger, right? Well, this talks about the educational piece. Back in September, on the first day of school, Martha Catherine, a social studies teacher at Robinson High School, did something not to be forgotten. On the first day of school, with the permission of the school superintendent, the principal, and the building supervisor, she removed all of the desks out of her classroom. When the first period kids entered the room, they discovered that there were no more desks. Miss Catherine, where are our desks? She replied, you can't have a desk until you tell me how you earn the right to sit at that desk. They thought, it's our behavior. And she said, no, sorry, it's not even your behavior. And so they came and went, first period, second period, third period. Still no desk in the classroom. By early afternoon, the TV crews were on site and had started gathering in Mrs. Catherine's classroom to report about this crazy teacher who had taken all the desks out of her classroom. Okay? The final period of the day came, and as the puzzled students found seats on the floor of the deskless classroom, Ms. Catherine said, throughout the day, no one has been able to tell me just what he or she has done to earn the right to sit at the desk that are ordinarily found in this classroom. I'm going to tell you. At that point, she walked over to the door and she opened it. 27 war veterans, all in uniform, walked in that classroom, each one carrying a school desk. The vets began placing the school desk in rows, and then they would walk over and stand alongside that wall. By the time the last soldier had set the final desk in place, those kids started to understand that perhaps for the first time in their lives, just how the right to sit at that desk was earned. Martha said, "You didn't earn the right to sit at these desks. These heroes did it for you. They placed the desk there. They placed the desk here for you now. It's up for you to sit in them. It's your responsibility to learn, to be good students, to be good citizens. They paid the price so that you could have the freedom to get an education. And don't forget it." As I started to say in the beginning, we're all a part of this puzzle. We're all a part of this puzzle that makes our military families work. So on behalf of Joint Base San Antonio, Brigadier General Heather Pringle, I want to thank you for doing your job. What you do day in and day out allows us to do our jobs, allows our families to do their jobs. So regardless of what entity you work with, if you're working with a military family, thank you. And even if you're not, you now have the situational awareness to adapt to it if needed. So thank you for doing what you do for not only our families, but for every family. Because every family is worth being saved and have a fresh start and or have a solid foundation to move forward. And especially the kids. Because remember, the kids are our tomorrow. They're our leaders. They're our future leaders. And if we don't take it right and get it right the first time, we don't want to fail. So thank you for doing what you do.